Yeah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone. So my content today is a little bit different because I'm not gonna talk about something serious, but instead I will be talking about something fun, something casual. But yeah, since I am a movie lover, so in this occasion I would like to share the top 20 of my favorite movie of all time. But I'm not gonna talk through the perspective of movie critic because I'm not a movie critic, I'm not an expert. I'm just a pure movie lover. So I will share the top 20 movies of all time based on my experience as a movie lover. So maybe I will mention the movie one by one, and then I'm going to give a brief explanation what the movie is about, and then I will tell you what makes it interesting for me, and then maybe I will give some parts or moments or scenes in the movie that I love the most. So there will be a little bit of spoilers, I guess. Yeah, but disclaimer first. So I'm making this list on a random order. So I'm not putting them from worst to best or vice versa. It's basically just a random order. So let's start with the first one. The first movie on this list is Schindler's List. This movie setting is in the Holocaust era, when there was a businessman named Oskar Schindler. He originally only wanted to develop his business by recruiting highly skilled Jewish workers. But as time went by, he no longer cared about his business, as he tried to buy as many Jewish workers as possible to save them from genocide from Nazi. So this movie could bring you to the past time, as this is a historical movie that is also based on the true story of the dark times of Holocaust. So you see people being hunted, being put into the concentration camps, being forced to work, and eventually slaughtered. Yeah, so I think the best part of the movie is the ending, when the movie maker, I guess, would like to give the message that Oskar Schindler has become the savior, or some kind of hero for the Jews community, because they managed to save so many people and they eventually survive across generations. So if you like the work or history movie, please check on Schindler's List. So that's the first movie on this list. So let's proceed to the next movie on this list, Her. Her is such a unique movie because it offers a new and fresh concept, as it tells the story about the relationship between a man and the operating system. So it's not about the man and the woman, but it's about the man and the operating system, which can talk, feel, and interact like a real human. So the dynamics that happen between these two characters is the main highlight of the movie. And there are some romantic moments as well that happen between these two. So the movie is quite heartwarming, and the performance of the actor is also very outstanding, especially the main protagonist, which played by Joaquin Phoenix, we know as one of the best actors of all time. So if you would like to feel different experiences, I suggest you to watch Her. So that's the second movie on this list. Let's proceed to the third one, The Shawshank Redemption. I bet some of you have already heard or watched this movie, because this is such a legendary movie. And its IMDb score is really high, and I think it's still in the first position of the top IMDb movies of all time. So what makes this movie so special? For me, I think because this movie brings the feel of hopelessness that you can feel through the characters, or what the characters had to undergo while being trapped in the prison without any hope to survive or get their life back. But the best part of the movie is the ending, when everything feels so hopeless and there's no way out anymore. The situation is then turned upside down within just a blink of an eye, when the character managed to escape the prison and get his free life back, while at the same time the main villain got his karma. So if you haven't checked The Shawshank Redemption, I suggest you to check on it. So the next movie on this list is Spirited Away. So this is the first animated movie on this list. Yeah, I never thought that an animated movie could reach this level of greatness. But after I read some reviews about it and found out that this movie already won an Oscar, so I decided to give it a try. And I didn't regret it at all because this movie is so fantastic. It's not just an ordinary animated movie, but it's a fantasy movie. Yeah, so there is an element of social commentary as well. There is some message that they try to convey throughout the movie. And the dynamics, the relationship between the characters, especially Haku and Chihiro, is really heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. And some of the memorable parts of the movie are the pig heads and also the train above the sea. So if you love animated movie, go watch Spirited Away because this movie is outstanding. So that's the fourth movie on this list. So the next movie on this list is The Godfather. So this is such a legendary mafia or gangster movie telling a story about a family, Corleone, and their pursuit of glory and power. So what makes this movie so special is that it came out in 1970s when the filming technology was not as great. But every single aspect to this movie is so perfect. From the storyline, the performance of the actor, cinematography, even the dark color of the movie match the atmosphere and the tension that they try to build. And especially the character development as well, when the main protagonist, Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, who was originally projected to be a good citizen, and through one series of events, he finally became a full-time gangster, a cold-blooded one. So if you love gangster movie, don't miss The Godfather. Okay, that's The Godfather. And then we proceed to the next movie on this list, The Godfather Part 2. So every single elements in The Godfather Part 1 are also present in The Godfather Part 2. But what makes this movie special is that it will give some backstory of Vito Corleone, or the head or the leader of the family, from his childhood and the process that he went through until he became the person he is. And also, one of the most memorable scenes in this movie is when Michael Corleone decided to murder all the leaders of the other families in order to eliminate all their rivals. So that scene is so memorable and stuck in your mind. So don't miss The Godfather Part 2. Okay, the next movie on this list is Joker. So this is a Joker solo movie in which the main character played by Joaquin Phoenix. So this movie is so special because it tells a story of one innocent man who had to go through so much difficulties and pains in his life and finally turn into a monster. Yeah, one of the most memorable scene in this movie, I bet all of you who have watched the movie would agree with me, that when Joker decided to kill the talk show host in front of the camera and public, and he eventually become some kind of symbol of the rebellion for the people in the city. So the main highlight of the movie is the character development, and the storyline is perfect as well. So if you like a psychological movie or character-driven movie, I suggest you to watch Joker. Okay, the next movie on this list is Gangs of New York. This movie is directed by Martin Scorsese, one of my favorite directors of all time, telling a story of gang fights in New York, and basically focuses on one character, a boy, and how he tried to climb the hierarchical ladder of the social class and gangs until he finally became the leader of the group. He had the mission to avenge his father's death. And the most memorable part of the movie is definitely the ending, when the all-out gang wars located in New York broke out, and the main character finally went face to face with his father's killer. So if you like gangster movie and action movie, do watch Gangs of New York. You won't regret it. Okay, the next movie on this list is The Raid Redemption. So this is the sequel of the first The Raid movie, and this is an Indonesian action movie and also my favorite action movie of all time. I love this movie because all the aspects of actions are there. There is fighting, there is gang wars, there is car chase, there is also martial arts. So not only they fight each other, but they also try to promote the Indonesian traditional martial arts, and that's what makes this movie unique for me personally. And one of the best scenes in this movie is the prison riot. So when the prison riot broke out and all the prison tried to kill each other, and the guards were also involved in the chaotic moments, it's so amazing and brutal, and yeah, it stick in your mind for quite a while. Yeah, so if you love action movie, don't miss The Raid and The Raid Redemption. So the next movie on this list is Kimi no Nawa, or Your Name, another animated movie directed by Makoto Shinkai, the person behind the newly released movie Suzume. So basically this movie contains different aspects like fantasy, there is some drama in it as well, and what makes it more interesting is that there is some kind of time dimensions, time travel in it as well. That's what makes this movie special. And the drama and relationship that happen between the characters is also very nice to watch. So if you like animated movie like Spirited Away, do watch Kimi no Nawa. Okay, that's Kimi no Nawa, or Your Name. Okay, the next movie on this list is City of God. So this is also a gangster movie, but this is more like a grassroots gangster movie, telling a story about the lives in the slum area in Brazil. When there is no law, people just rob each other, people just kill each other for nothing. And we follow one main character from his childhood until he becomes the ruthless gang leader who will do anything to get what he wants and has no hesitation in killing other people to get his goals. Yeah, this movie tried to give the message of how miserable, how tragic, and how brutal the lives in the slum area is. So this is one of the best foreign movies of all time. If you like gangster movie, do watch City of God. Okay, so the next movie on this list is The Dark Knight. So this is the second movie of Batman trilogy directed by Christopher Nolan. Yeah, so this is not just an ordinary superhero movie. There are elements of crime, drama, mystery, political thriller, and it's definitely not for kids. Yet the main attraction in this movie is the performance of Heath Ledger, who played Joker, the main villain in this movie. So the movie is so intense because we keep guessing what kind of deceit or tricks that Joker will pull off next to annoy Batman. So this movie is definitely a must watch for you all. So we proceed to the next movie, Downfall. So this is another war movie telling the story of the last days of one of the most historical figure of all time, Mr. Adolf Hitler. So basically this movie focuses on what Hitler did and everything he prepared before his loss in the war. Yeah, so this movie is so interesting, and the actor who played Adolf Hitler delivered such an outstanding performance. So if you like war movie or if you like Holocaust theme movie, go check Downfall. Okay, the next movie on this list is Whiplash. So this is my favorite music theme movie, telling a story about a young promising drummer in the music school, and he struggled to get into a band. So the main highlight of this movie is the relationship and the dynamics between the young drummer and the leader of the band, who is also the head of the school. And what makes this movie interesting is that the leader of the band, which is played by J.K. Simmons, will show no hesitation in committing violent methods to train his band members, especially the young drummer. And one of the famous lines in the movie is that when the band members made a mistake during the performance, the leader of the band would say some kind of line like, not quite my tempo, even not my fucking tempo, something like that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we proceed to the next movie on this list, Birdman. So this movie tells a story about the former big actor who tried to make a big name in the Broadway theater. So this movie has the elements of arts and drama as well, especially the relationship between the actor, the former big actor, and his young daughter. The actor played by Michael Keaton and the daughter played by Emma Stone. Amazing Emma Stone. Okay, so the most memorable scene in this movie is when the main protagonist, the actor, is about to perform on stage, but he took a small break outside the back door of the theater, and then his clothes is stuck in the door. So he cannot pull his clothes, nor can he open the door and enter the stage from the back side. So he just removed his clothes right away and just walk around half naked at the side of the road while everybody else watching and recording as he makes his way to the main gate of the theater, and he enters the audience gate and just play along with the story that is being performed on the stage. That scene is so powerful and phenomenal, and it will stick in your mind. It's so artistic. So if you like movie about arts or some kind of artistic drama movie, so you should check Bird. So the next movie on this list is Rumah Dara or Macabre. I think this is the only pure slasher movie on this list, and this is also an Indonesian movie. And why do I put this movie on this list is because the experience that I got from watching the movie. This movie just gave me such a nightmare. This movie is so gory and brutal in all levels. There are bloodsheds all over the place. Especially the performance of the main character, the main villain, played by Sharifa Dennis, that can bring terror not only to the other characters in the movie but also to the audiences. So if you seek for a movie that could frighten you, go check Rumah Dara. Okay, so the next movie is Grave of the Fireflies. So this is also an animated movie, and this is also a Ghibli movie, just like Spirited Away. So the movie centers around young siblings who lost both of their parents due to war. So this movie is so sad and tragic, and this is one of the few movies that could actually make me cry. Yeah, I cried throughout the movie. So the siblings who lost their parents must survive their life on their own, try to get the food by themselves, and eventually the little sister died due to malnutrition. Yeah, this movie is so saddening in all levels, not only because of the storyline but also the relatability of the topic that they brought. So we could learn how miserable the impacts of the war is to the people by watching this movie. So if you love a movie that can make your eyes wet, yeah, go check Grave of the Fireflies. Okay, we proceed to the next movie on this list, The Departed. So this movie is also directed by Martin Scorsese, and my favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio, plays in it as well. So this is basically an adaptation to Hong Kong movie called Infernal Affair. So this movie tells a story about the confrontation between a gangster who camouflages as a cop against a cop who camouflages as a gangster. So the plot in itself is already interesting, but the execution of the movie is such a perfection. Yeah, because it's so intense. By the way the characters try to search for each other, try to find who the real culprit is. And the most memorable scene of this movie is when both characters, these rivals, try to contact each other via a phone call. The scene is so intense, it makes you cannot breathe for seconds. Yeah, if you like detective or gangster movie, go check The Departed. Yeah, so we proceed to the last two movies on this list. The first one is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, this is a Marvel movie and it's newly released this year. I just watched the movie last month, and to be honest, if I haven't watched the movie, I would have put Avengers Endgame on this list. But since I did watch the movie and like it more, so I have to switch Avengers Endgame with this movie on this list, since it's officially become my favorite Marvel movie of all time. Why do I say so? Because I think this movie could give you complete experience from comedy action, drama, especially when they tell the backstory of the Rocket Raccoon character, which is so sad and tragic. Yeah, it's another movie that could actually make me cry, as I cried in the theaters while watching the movie. So there are also some life lessons or values that are being brought throughout the movie, such as friendships, loyalties, and how you defend and fight for your families. The performances of the characters are equally great, as the characters manage to bring multi-layered dimensions to their roles, from Star-Lord, Gamora, Nebula, Drax, Mantis, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and so on and so forth. They could show different emotions to different circumstances. They can also react differently to different situations while interacting to one and another. If you like Marvel movie or if you love movies in general, you should check Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, so we proceed to the last movie on this list, Parasite. This is a South Korean movie which won Best Picture Award on Oscar. Yeah, and what makes this movie so special for me personally, it's because the director, Bong Joon-ho, tries to put different genres and mix them all together into one movie. And it worked. It really worked. So this movie basically tells a story about one poor family which try to infiltrate the rich family by camouflaging into someone else. And things just escalating really quickly from that point on till the end of the movie. So there are certain elements brought by the movie such as social commentary, satire, social class issues, which are perfectly captured throughout the movie. But what I like the most about the movie is the sudden mood change and genre shift in the middle of the movie. This movie will caught you off guard, so you get surprised by how quickly the situation changes. So if you want to watch the movie, a great movie that can surprise you, you should not miss Parasite. Yeah, so that's all for me. And what about you? Do you have any favorite movie in the list that I just shared? Or do you have any other preference? Please do share your thoughts on the comment section below. I love to discuss movies with you. Okay? That's it for today. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.